All right, here we are 1 year later. Andor, episodes 4 through 6. Another pretty good 3 episodes, in my opinion. I really enjoyed them. Hell of a lot better than Last of Us.
It
But
was a
yeah.
hell of a lot better than the first 3.
Yeah, it was a lot better than the first 3 as well.
It was
Yes, it
back
was.
to pretty much the same pacing.
This episode 4 opens up with Bix. She's still having those nightmares of Dr. Gorst. And so she is having a rough time. She can't sleep at night. She's just, them torturing her. We really see the effects of what they did to her. And we see her taking some kind of drug at night to sleep after her cast leaves.
You miss the fact that they're back on Coruscant, which is a ballsy fucking move.
Well,
It's kinda
Cassian says because
hiding
it's so big.
hiding right under
Yeah,
their nose.
yeah, right under her nose. Yeah, so big, so busy. They're not gonna think to look for him there.
Him in particular going out in public is, ooh,
Yeah, because they're
that's
looking for him.
yeah, that's ballsy. And if he does get recognized, there's nowhere to hide. 'Cause they're in the heart of the Empire. They're way outnumbered.
Well, I guess he did get recognized because, or no, Vix got recognized because remember she said something about he killed that boy because he recognized her.
No, it's not that he recognized her, it's just that he saw her face,
Yeah, okay. He saw
and
her
he couldn't
face.
take the chance of him going back and then recognizing her.
Man, I really like this show. Like this show, I wish all Star Wars could be as mature as this show. Like it is so good.
That's why this show's kinda divided folks, especially after the whole sexual assault thing, uh, because the way Lucas designed it is, yeah, it was family stuff. It was aimed for the 12-year-old pretty much. Uh, the whole family could sit down and watch it. But yeah, those 12-year-olds grow up. It was such a big part of people's childhood and lives that, yeah, they still love it. They're still fans years later, but they want a more mature view of it. And this is given it, and that's why I'm so happy with it because that's something I wanted, and of course, I wanted to see how the rebellion started, and we're getting all that, and I like it. Other than the first 3 of this season, I think it's been just spot on. It's been great. There've been some lulls here and there, but it's good series. I don't understand why it's getting so much hate. Luthen has to go or sends Andor on a mission and leaves Bix alone, and then he swoops in to pretty much evaluate Bix and sees that she is fucked.
Yeah, she is in no state to do any kind of gun running mission.
As it finds her drugs and tells her that once she comes off of it, the nightmares are gonna be worse. And that's when he put his mind into action and ended up coming up with a solution, but that's later on.
But this episode, or this 3 episodes, we do spend a lot of time in Gorman.
Yeah, that's where Luthen sends Andor. Funny enough, as he's leaving Coruscant to go to Gorman, your boy Syril is leaving Gorman to go to Coruscant.
Yeah, yeah. Thought that was kinda funny.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves too, because when we first get to Gorman, we're watching the whole Gorman front, and they've been spying on Syril. They think that he's on their side.
Which I thought they knew he wasn't on their side. Like, I thought they were playing him, like, giving him false information, but no.
No,
Yeah.
it's all the plan that Deidre set up under Krennic's command to get some rebels going and do the wrong thing that would give the Empire a reason to step in and strip mine the fucking planet.
Yeah, well, they invite Syril to a, town hall meeting. I thought they were gonna kill him there. Like, I really thought they were gonna kill
Really?
him. I did. I was like, "Oh, shit. Is he gonna die?" Because if he died, this would
In
give
a
reason for
public
Deidre.
meeting?
Well, like, afterwards. Like, they all left, and
Oh,
he's just there talking to the
yeah.
head people, and they're all kinda surrounding
No.
him.
But by that time, you know that they're wanting to recruit him because of all their conversations behind the scene conversations while they're eavesdropping on him and everything. You
Well, I
know
thought
that
they were
they're
playing
wanting to
him for
recruit him. Oh,
giving him wrong
I
info, is what I thought.
you know that they're wanting to recruit him because they think that he's on their side, especially after they looked into his background and find out about the whole Morlana 1 bullshit and Ferrick's fiasco and getting demoted. Or actually getting fired.
Okay, I can see because they think he has a grudge since he got fired. Yeah, I can see that.
Mhm,
Okay. I see
and
where
it's
they're
him
going
and
with
his
that.
mom, and his mom's like, "Oh," her being her typical self.
She thought they were, using him or
Oh,
they
no,
threw
because
him away.
she was on the phone call, she was doing, like, the Empire's fucking bullet points of how Gorman's bad, and he was actually defending him, is what the deal was, and that's why they thought he would be sympathetic to their cause, along with his history, but yet they didn't know about Deidre, so but yeah, it's funny because Deidre is completely using him, and he doesn't know it.
Well, he's getting some action, so it's the first time he's ever had any, I think, so he was like, "Oh, well, I'll do whatever you want," and plus he thinks he's helping the Empire.
Yeah, he doesn't realize that he's being played and he's a tool. But yeah, when him and Andor switch spots, he goes, of course, to see his girlfriend. Deidre says that they only have an hour, and he's kind of bummed.
An hour.
Turn out the lights.
Can't believe you had me followed.
Turn out the lights.
She commands him, "Turn out the
Yeah,
lights," like, she commands him. He's
yeah,
like
it
it
was
was so
so,
funny the way she said it. Well, I think even
yeah,
before that, whenever it may have been after, whenever Cyril is talking to the commander guy, I don't remember his name.
as after party, guys. Yeah, because when he was still on Gorman, he was relaying that they were wanting to meet and everything, and he was wanting Deidre to relay it to Partagaz, and she's like,
And she's
"No,
like,
it's not
"No."
there yet." And
Yeah, yeah.
he was all bummed because he just wants to be super spy guy. He wants to
Yeah,
be
it's
one of
he's
the cool
exactly
kids.
he wants to be super spy guy. But whenever he does have his
And
moment, though, with him, that was hilarious.
but yeah, and then after he actually meets with him, and that's when it's enough to bring to Partagaz, and she brings him to him and updates Partagaz on everything, and Partagaz gives him an attaboy, and he about spunks his pants.
He does. He says the funniest line, too. He says the funniest thing, I think, so far in the show.
If I say this is the greatest day of my life, does it spoil everything?
Yeah, I thought that shit was hilarious, and the the look of Deidre's face after he says it, like, I'm thinking, is she gonna be mad or is she gonna but she's just like, I don't fucking care, it's whatever."
Yeah, he thinks he's a badass, but they know that he's just a pawn.
Well, the counter to that, though, when whenever Cass arrives at Gorman, we see how badass he really is when it comes to, you know, blending in and playing a character compared to Cyril. Cyril's not very good at it, but Cass plays this extravagant, art guy. He looks pretty
Fashion,
funny
yeah.
and
Yeah, I like that because he comes to vet the Gorman front, which it's just showing the juxtaposition between the Empire and the rebels at the time, because the Empire is very organized and has a plan, but then it shows the Gorman front are very unorganized and have no idea what the fuck they're doing. And that was why
exactly.
Cassian was there to see that, and he's like, "No, this has got bad news written all over it," and he ends up telling Luthen, "Stay away from these fuckers." But Luthen sees the bigger picture and he doesn't care about the cost. He just
Yeah.
sees what it can be. He has
Yeah.
no, which there just shows the similarities between Luthen and the Empire. They have no regard for life, just their agenda. And when when Andor doesn't do it, Luthen ends up sending Vel.
Vel Incenta.
And sent to the Scissor Sisters. But yeah, and then in the mix to all this, we have Willman going to see Saw Gerrera.
Dude, Saul
And
is my favorite part of
yeah,
these
and
3
we
episodes.
finally figure out why he has the goddamn breathing mask in Rogue One. It's because all
Oh,
the
that's right. He does. I forgot about
what
that.
the hell
Yeah.
was that stuff? Rhydor?
I don't know what that stuff was. Like, I wasn't for sure.
It's essentially huffing fucking jet fuel.
I didn't even know what that machine was that
That's
he had that
basically
guy
to
working
jump
on.
in the line and jump in like basically Saw setting up a fuel heist to get Rhydonium, which he's been huffing, and that's why he's all fucked up. So they have just an unlimited amount of fuel.
Anyway, Saw, dude, I thought he was so intense. Like, I really thought he
Yeah.
was so intense. He was so awesome.
Yeah, this block didn't have a lot of action, but man, they pushed everybody's characters so far. That's why it was just so entertaining to me, and it established something instead of wasting time, which is literally what the first 3 episodes were. And then Willman, god damn, you think that he's gonna end up off in Willman, and
Yeah,
then
that's what I thought. Because, dude, he looked so stressed out, Will. He looks so
yeah.
stressed out. He's like, "I'm gonna die here. There's nothing I can do."
Yeah, because everything is not going to the way it was planned for him. Guess he was just supposed to drop it off and leave.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. And whenever he kills the other guy, because he was a spy. I was like, "Oh shit!" I guess that makes sense because he was asking him, where they're gonna go,
Pushing
like,
him, yeah.
which I thought was kind of interesting. And then you see it in Saul's face when he tells him, like, "Huh," because I didn't think he would really tell him where they're going, but he did. And then he shoots him there at
Well,
the
he
end.
didn't. He gave him a fake
Yeah, gave him
location.
fake. Yeah,
Yeah.
what I meant is I didn't think he would tell him anything, but whenever he
Yeah.
did, that's what I knew something was up. Those scenes with Saul, those speeches he gives, and whenever they use that machine, I was like, oh my god! And whatever that gas is that dude inhaled, and he's like kind of going crazy. Shit was awesome.
But yeah,
Yeah,
and then he
that's cool.
convinces Will to take his mask off and breathe it in.
Yeah, I love the way he talks, and he's so intense. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great character. Well, hold on. We skipped over one big thing.
We skip
That
over.
plays into the last episode. Clea, while she's spying on everybody, she listens to the bug that they have in Skolden's gallery,
Oh
in
yeah, that's right. I
a
forgot.
piece that they sold him, and found out that he's gonna have everything vetted because he fucked around and bought a fake of something else, and now they're at risk of being exposed because it can be traced directly back to Luthen. Have a little bit of CYA to do at the party because he's gonna have everything vetted the day after the party. So they have to get into this party, infiltrate this party, and remove this bug without being caught with friggin' Empire people all around.
It
Krennic
was pretty
shows
intense.
up and the whole showdown between Krennic and Mothma. Oh, that was so fun. Basically, we get the whole stupid theft, heist, whatever you want to call it, that the Gorman front want to do. And the reason that Vel and Cinta were sent there is basically they're going to attack a transport that the Empire is setting up to be attacked and robbed, to steal weapons to show that what they're building is an armory and cause
Yeah,
all kinds of
I thought for sure
discourse.
they both gonna die in that. I really did.
I didn't think anybody was gonna die until that stupid ass kid pulled out a gun. I thought something was gonna go wrong because that girl left her post, which is what ultimately made Vel leave her spot by Senta. Otherwise, yeah, they probably both would have been dead.
Well,
Vel.
Mon asked Luthen, she's like, where's my cousin? I need, is she okay? So I love her. And so them talking about her that way, I thought for sure she was going to die as well.
Be the one, yeah. Behind all this, we also learn about from the ISB that the dude that tortured Bix, they're basically giving him a promotion, and Gorst is going to be expanding his tactics. He's going to be training other people. And so that once, because we go back to Lonnie, our rebel spy inside the ISB that we saw in the first season, that's his first appearance. And he passes that on to Luthen, and then Luthen finally realizes, hey, that's a way we can get Bix back to where she needs to be, hopefully.
I think
So
it was
he
right.
sets up, yeah.
I
So
think it was right.
he sets up Andor for another mission, and this time he does get to bring Bix along, and she's actually the main person. Because
Yeah,
as soon as Gorst walked in that room and you see Bix standing against that wall, you're just fuck. I was fist pumping. I was like, fuck yeah,
I
let's
was like,
let's
fuck
do
yeah.
this.
Me too, man. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And she turned that intensity up to fucking 10. she
Oh,
turned
yeah.
that thing all the way up.
We have that going on at the same time. We have ball thing going on with Skolden. At the same time, the whole Gorman heist is going on. So we got three key things in this episode going on at the same time, and it was just a fun episode.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for checking this out. We'll be back next week with the next 3 episodes. Peace out.